So this is our microfiber sectional sofa that we purchased a little over 2 years ago. It's been a fine sofa for us. It's a neutral color. We've had no stains or water problems on it. However, a couple of days ago, a family member brought their small pooch over and she had an accident on the microfiber sofa. So our dogs like to perch kind of in the top of the cushion right here, and this little dog was right here on the top of this cushion, and she peed a lot on top of here. At first we just kind of sopped up the liquid with some paper towels. It's microfiber, so it did resist some of it. Not everything soaked through. A lot of it was sitting on top. We were able to soak up some, and at the time of the incident, we did go ahead and douse it with this Kids and Pets stain and odor remover. This isn't something I've really done research on. I went to the store looking for something specific for pet odor when we first got our puppy and he was potty training. We have been using this for about 6 months. It does seem to do a pretty good job. We've only had few incidences, so it actually has a very potent smell at first, kind of like blueberries. It actually smells really great, so it immediately counteracts the bad odor. But I hadn't used it on the sofa before this. I had really only used it on the carpet. So this was a few days ago. We've been a little bit busy. We're coming back to the situation now because there is still some smell. We looked online for different solutions. Turns out there are thousands and thousands of posts on how to clean your microfiber sofa. A lot of people say a lot of different things, so we decided to go ahead and make a video of what we decided to do and let you know how that works. So if you're ever in this situation, you can try this type of option. So she peed mostly on top of the cushion, but some of it did dribble onto the cushions that were right here. So these cushions are removable. They just have a zipper. You can take them off the couch. You can unzip it, take the cushion completely off. It's just foam in here. I already have washed these 2 cushions in the washing machine on gentle, with just these 2 things in there, on gentle cycle, cold. I put enough regular laundry detergent in for a small load of laundry, and then got them out of the washer immediately and just laid them flat to dry. They've dried, they're clean, they smell great, no problem, no stains. So our problem comes in because this cushion is not removable. As you can see, it's sewn to the couch, so it becomes a little bit more of a problem trying to remove the odor. There's no stain. The stain is gone, as you can see, no problem. It's just the odor. So what we decided to do was come in underneath. We used just kind of like a little knife, an X-Acto knife, and just ripped this seam. As you can imagine, when this is full of stuffing, this seam is on the bottom. So, yeah, so here's one it was this seam here. So we just ripped it enough to get an arm in here, and we've already pulled out all the stuffing that was in here. It's not foam in here, it's loose stuffing, so it's real easy to pull out. Now everything on the bottom half of the cushion was totally unaffected by the urine. So when we first started pulling things out, we did save the stuffing that had no smell, hadn't been touched. We filled up this entire garbage bag with the foam. So this is all clean, still smells fine, no problem. We're going to reuse this when we stuff. Now for the stuffing that was at the top, you can tell what's been affected because it has a smell. So with everything that was at the top of the cushion, we're just going to go ahead and pitch. So now that we've removed all the stuffing, we're going to use our Kids and Pets. When you buy this, it doesn't have a spray top on it. It has more like a water bottle lid on it because here it is. Yeah. Because the instructions say when there's a spot, you douse the whole thing. Just douse it. Soak it. And, well, that's after you soak up the excess liquid or whatever it may be. If it's carpet, you douse the carpet and then you just let it dry, and that's all you do. You don't scrub it or rub it or anything. So I have done that in the past with the carpet, and it seems to have been fine. I did not want to do that for this. Anyone who has microfiber knows that liquid on microfiber is not always great. It can leave a ring, blah, blah, blah. So I just went ahead and switched out the water bottle type lid I just took this off my Windex bottle, sprayed some water through it in here so that we can apply it just a little bit lighter and a little bit more evenly. So all we're going to do on this microfiber cleaning attempt is spray the affected area on the outside. And like I said, this was a good amount of pee. So I'm going to really get the whole thing in case it seeped. And I can already smell this. It has a kind of it has a smell, but it doesn't smell like a cleaning product. So I don't know why it makes me think of like blueberry candy. Unfortunately for us, our precious pooch visitor did dribble kind of down the front here. So I'm just going to not be shy about it. And as you can see, it's getting darker, so I know it's pretty saturated. I'm going to just kind of... I don't want to have to do this again, so... I'm just doing the whole thing. Maybe even coming back around here. When you're cleaning this, no matter how close you get, as soon as you put this stuff on, you're not smelling pee anymore. I can tell you that right now. Okay, so I got the outside. Now what I want to do here is apply some of the product on the inside and agitate it a little bit with some sort of scrubby brush or whatever you might have. So I'm going to just see if I can fit both. Yeah, okay. So I just got my arm in here. I'm going to have some assistance. I'm just going to, you can't see it, but I'm doing the same thing. I'm just spraying from the inside, so it's on both sides of the fabric. This is really wet, so like I said, I'm being very generous. Yeah, it's already kind of soaking through, so I think there's plenty. I guess I get a little bit on the top. Yeah, it's really wet in here. Okay, I think we're good. I'm going to pull it out. See, it's getting a little... I'm just going to... This is a scrub brush we happen to have on hand. I'm not going to do this much on top because you don't want to take the chance. This is really, really hard and microfiber can get a little touchy, but I am going to do it on the inside because nobody can see that. And actually, if you look on the inside, it's not even microfiber in there. It's just, it's like felty fuzz. Fleece. So I'm just going to be kind of gentle on the inside too because since it's like fleece in there, we don't want to tear it up. But I'm just going to get things moving around a little. So nothing's stagnant. I'm going to try to just brush out the whole wet surface just a little bit. Because like I said, I just want to be as thorough as I can so I do not have to come back and do this ever again. Short of banishing the pooch from ever coming back to our house. So anyway, however long you might want to do this is up to you. Whatever makes you feel good about getting the job done. And then at this, it's taking some of the fleece, so you really do want to be careful. So if it's a smaller spot, you can use a smaller brush, whatever. This one's a little bit more gentle. I am going to do just a little bit on the outside here. And I won't make you watch the whole process of me covering the whole thing, but just a little bit just to get the bristles moving around. This did happen a few days ago, so has been sitting. So you might want to just kind of get everything a little, do whatever. This is a little softer. Maybe use something a little softer. So now, all we can do at this point is wait. This is really saturated. So if the instructions on the bottle say if it's an old spot, to let it sit for at least an hour. Even if it's a new spot, you're supposed to let it sit. You're just supposed to let it completely air dry. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to just set this baby up to just air dry. And then we'll come back in part 2 of this video after it's dried and take a look at everything. We may need to comb out the microfiber a little bit, and then we're just going to use the stuffing we've saved to restuff, and we're going to purchase a little bit more batting from the local craft store and hopefully get this cushion looking better than it did before it happened. Oh, another detail, when we were looking online, a lot of people were talking about it's important to use a cleaner that uses enzymes. They call it an enzymatic cleaner. I didn't think I had anything like that. I never heard of anything called that. But I took a look through. I planned to just go buy something, but then when I took a look through some of my things, I saw that this, even though it doesn't say enzymatic cleaner on the front, under the ingredients section, it says unique synergistic formula consisting of high-speed natural enzymes, isopropyl alcohol, surfactant, ordinon, which I don't know what that is, water, and a natural citrus scent. Oh, they call it a citrus scent. I swear it smells like blueberries. Anyway, so turns out that this in fact was an enzymatic cleaner, so we didn't have to buy anything. Chances are you might have something under your sink that has some sort of natural enzymes in it, which is mostly for the odor. It's not for the cleaning, it's for the odor. So we're going to let this sit for a couple of hours until it's dry, and we'll come back to check it out and restuff, and then we're just going to sew this baby back up. So wish us luck. So we're back for part 2 of our microfiber couch cleaning video, and when we cut off at the last video, we had taken all the stuffing out. We had saved the stuff that was unadulterated, if you will. We had thrown out the stuffing at the top where the pea had kind of soaked in. Here's all the stuffing we saved. We did unfortunately have to do a few things since the last time we were on here. The smell, when our solution dried from the last video, the smell was mostly gone, but we could still smell it a little bit, so we took some extra measures to get rid of the smell. We did try a few things. We tried a little bit of dishwashing detergent, not proper dishwasher, but just like dish soap and water. That didn't seem to help very much. So then we actually used a 1-to-1 vinegar and water solution, and that seemed to actually help the most. It smelled like vinegar for the first 24 hours. Once that dried, it was, the pea smell was pretty much gone. We did spray some Neutra Air Lysol air freshener in the inside of the cushion. That seemed to help. And then it seemed like the smell was gone, and all that was really left was we kind of unfortunately had that wet ring that happens with microfiber. So I'm sure some of you know the best way to get rid of a wet ring is to just use rubbing alcohol. We just used a little bit of rubbing alcohol right around where the ring was. We didn't even put it everywhere. And because that evaporates so quickly, it doesn't leave a ring. So we have, at this point, eradicated both the smell, the stain, And there's also no ring. So we are ready to restuff. We have the stuffing we saved. We also purchased a little bit more stuffing. This is, you know, on the higher end of quality stuffing. We wanted it to feel just like the stuffing that was in there. We wanted to have. We didn't want it to flatten out. We wanted it to look uniform, you know, all the things you might look for in pillow stuffing. So, it feels the same. This feels the same. Oh, and my dog just took some, as you saw. This stuffing feels the same as this stuffing. It was pretty affordable. That 5-pound bulk pack. We got it from Joann Fabrics for, it was $19.99. We used a 40% off coupon, so we actually got it for about $14. So, and there's plenty in there to restuff all our pillows if we wanted to. Well, we won't need to buy any more for a long time. So, I'm just going to go ahead and go through the hole that you've already seen. And I'm going to just start restuffing. I'm starting with the stuffing that we originally pulled out. And I'm just going to make sure I'm getting all the way to the corners here. And this is going to take a little while to get it all back in. And try not to get it all over the place. So I'm just going to work on this for a few minutes. Okay, so as you can see, we've got ourselves restuffed here. You can see it looks a little bit fuller than our other pillows. We did overstuff a little bit because our dog, the dog you recently saw, by the way, is not the dog that committed the party foul. But he does like to perch here, so we stuffed it a little bit because there's still a lot of air and stuff in there. By the end of the day, probably even, it will have settled and look just like the other ones. And also, now that we've got it stuffed, we can see, I see a little bit more of a ring right here that I missed. I was worried about the ring up top. And so now I can see this little ring right here. So after I get this all sewn up, I'm going to come back in with a cotton ball and rubbing alcohol and just come around this ring and it'll dry right up, no problem. Okay, so here I have a curved needle. This is just from Walmart. It's a curved sewing needle. I've threaded. I borrowed some thread from my mother-in-law that matches the sofa fairly well. It's not going to matter that much. It's going to be at the bottom. I triple knotted I doubled up, triple knotted. Don't mind my nails. Now, I'm just going to come up here. Oop. And I'm going to start. See where all this is from where we ripped the seam. So I'm just going to push all that in. And I'm going to start on the inside because I don't want this knot sticking out. So I'm going to try to come right from where the other stitches are. And I'm going to push all this inside. And come in. A little too high. So the microfiber is a little bit harder to pierce. And you got to make sure you're coming out at the right spot. The curved needle makes it really easy. Push it all inside. Pierce the one side. This is not going to be a perfect job, but we don't really care because it's underneath the cushion. All we care about is that it doesn't smell like dog pee anymore. You want me to